opinion, uncertainty, and doubt. For example, with phrases such as penso che, credo che, I think that, I believe that. The subjunctive is also used to express emotion. For example, sono contenta che, ho paura che, mi dispiace che. It's also used to express desire and command with phrases such as voglio che, desidero che. And let's look at some examples. Penso che lei ha 4 anni. I think that she's 4 years old. So we're expressing opinion, so we need a subjunctive, not an indicative. How is it going to change? Penso che lei abbia 4 anni. So what happened is our indicative present tense a has changed to the subjunctive present tense abbia. So a has changed to abbia. Now let's look at another example. Credo che tu sei bella. I believe you are beautiful. Again, it's our opinion. So how does it change? Credo che tu, let's see the green card, sia bella. Credo che tu sia bella. So the indicative present tense sei has changed to the subjunctive present tense sia. Another example. Penso che tu leggi molto. I think that you read a lot. Well, it's our opinion, so we need to change that leggi from an indicative to a subjunctive, and it becomes penso che tu legga molto. And later on, I'll show you how it actually changes leggi to legga, what the conjugations are. Another example, ho paura che lei sta male. I fear that she's unwell. So a fear is an emotion. We need a subjunctive. Let's see how it changes. Ho paura che lei stia male. Ho paura che lei stia male. So sta has changed to stia. Spero che tu stia bene. We've known that sentence from when we write letters, so you've actually learned it before. But now the past tense. Sono contenta che papà ha comprato il libro. I'm happy that Dad bought the book. So we're talking about the past. So how do we use it in the past? Sono contenta che papà abbia comprato il libro. So it's actually not very difficult. All it simply happens, you just change the first part of the past tense, of the passato prossimo. So the ha comprato changes to abbia comprato. A changes to abbia, but comprato remains the same. So it's quite easy. Let's look at another example with essere. Credo che mamma è andata via. We're expressing our opinion, so we need the subjunctive. In a past tense, it's quite simple. Credo che mamma, let's see if it comes along. Credo che mamma sia andata via. So what has happened with the past tense? Again, we don't have to worry about the second part of the verb. È andata changes to sia andata. È changes to sia. So it's really just the present tense that's changing because the past participle remains the same. Okay, the exception to the rule, unfortunately, we have one, as always. Credo che io sono intelligente. I believe I am intelligent. However, credo che, let's analyze the two parts of the sentence. It's me, io. Io credo che, I'm the subject of that verb. Let's look at sono intelligente, who, again, it's I. Now, we can't have the same subject. We can't have io on one side and io on the other side with the subjunctive. So it actually doesn't change into a subjunctive. It changes into a di plus infinitive. So credo di essere intelligente. And that happens with any subject. You can't have a double subject. So we've looked at how to use, when to use the subjunctive, and we just finished on when you have the same subject in the first part of the sentence, in the red part, and the same subject in the second part of the sentence, whether it's io, io, tu, tu, lui, lui, lei, lei, etc., you don't actually use a subjunctive, but you use a D plus an infinitive. Okay, what about the conjugations? What does the subjunctive actually look like? It's not too hard. Let's look at the picture. Let's start with the easiest. The easiest is the noi form. Why is it easy? Because it looks exactly like the present tense indicative. So iamo, 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 nothing new there. However, the change is up here. Are becomes I. Parli, 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 and note that io, tu, and lui, lei are actually identical. Because of this, in the subjunctive, we will often state who the subject is to avoid confusion, unlike all our other tenses in which we don't bother because the ending will always tell us who it is anyway. Ere will always end in A. Ire will also always end in A. As always, the ere and ire are the cousins. They will most often follow the same pattern. The voi will always end in yate, yate, yate. So that's identical as well. We're picking up on that pattern. Whereas the loro changes, as always. Ere and ire are the cousins. They're identical, ano, ano. Whereas loro becomes ino, and pick up on the pattern. So I, A here, A, and A there. As always, there are irregular verbs. The most common ones that you're going to have to learn, particularly for the past tense of the subjunctive, is avere, abbia, 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 abbiamo, abbiate, abbiano, essere, sia, 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 siamo, siate, siano. And of course, we have some more irregular ones, and you can click on the link over here. And the present tense is... So if a verb is irregular in the present tense, it will often copy the same stem of the irregular present tense indicative for the present tense subjunctive. So, for example, faccio in the subjunctive becomes faccia. Okay, abbiamo finito. This is the hardest tense, so hopefully you get it now.